To you, was this an effective way to start the case? The first view of George Floyd that the defense shows in their case in chief is this 2019 arrest.
No, it was not. I think it fell flat. I think that you saw a high, everything that became escalated was the fault of the police in this case, first of all. You know what I've never had happen to me? I've never been pulled over with a gun drawn on me. And I think if that would have happened to me, the first thing out of my mouth would be, don't shoot me. It's pretty alarming to see someone walk up to the back of, behind you with a gun, I would imagine. And he complied. And that was really brought out well on cross-examination. And then at the very end, this retired officer said, yeah, it escalated pretty quickly. And I thought, didn't you escalate it? I think that starting your case with this is just what the jury thinks you're doing, is trying to smear the victim's character. And I don't think that plays well. And I think people are smart enough to see right through that.
Actually, that's a big issue on social media. Again, I'm always interacting with folks, and they're very angry across the board that this was allowed into this case. And we don't need to go into as to why. I mean, it was pretty clear the judge wasn't going to allow this in at all, but ultimately decided to let it in just for the fact that he would take pills. You heard one of the officers in the body camera footage tell him, spit them out, spit them out. He had put drugs in his mouth, and he let it in for that limited purpose, not for the character. And he admonishes the jury right before it's played that that's what they were supposed to do. And I'll tell you what, I've been on juries, in front of juries, and they really do take that seriously. I'd love to get your opinion on that. Are they capable of separating this idea of the character and the fact that he's been arrested before, dealing with police, and the fact that the court tells them not to consider that in their deliberations?
Unlike you, I've never been on a jury. I would like to believe that most people are smart enough to understand and appreciate judges' admonitions. And I think that they do by and large. I think that there are a few people that get hung up on them. And I think that those are people that are predisposed to have viewpoints about people who get arrested, or people who do drugs, or people that might be a different race than them. And I think that those people are always going to have those views, and you're doing your best to make sure that those people are not on your jury, right? So I do think that most jurors do their best to take into account the judge's admonitions when it comes to stuff like this. And I think that the way that the judge limited it was fine. I'm with you. I didn't think this would ever have come in. It's, character evidence rule 101, that you learn in evidence class in law school. And so I was surprised that it did come in, but, here we are.
Yeah, it wasn't going to come in, Christa, until they found some partially chewed pills after an initial search. A second search, like 6 months later, they found some partially chewed pills. Suddenly the judge was like, okay, now it's so we can make the connection between his chewing pills in 2019 and the fact that he had put pills in his mouth in 2020. And that was the connection. Okay, if you want to take that, I'm willing to go with that. But I still don't think it was terribly probative of anything and more sort of against his character. But I wanted to show you now a piece of tape. The second witness called by the defense, which connects with the first. She's the paramedic that treated George Floyd at the scene that day. So let's listen to her testimony real quick.